Hello, what's up? What's good? Happy Friday. Welcome into the OnlyBets Sports Podcast alongside Stern Bets, Drew DeLucchi. I'm the Prince of Picks. Got a great show lined up for you guys today. So, going to be covering what happened yesterday in the sports world. Of course, we had the Major League Baseball. We had one game to cover there, and we've got some World Cup action coming up this weekend. Of course, we've got more Major League Baseball tonight. We think we have a full slate here that we're going to be covering. So, a lot of things here coming up. The semifinals and the finals of the World Cup is coming to an end, unfortunately, but that just means that we're going to be digging more deeply into the domestic leagues as we're starting to get the domestic leagues back in action. So soccer never stops, which is a great thing here for the show and a great thing to bet on. So happy to get into all these sports here. Let me bring in Stern Betts. Good morning, sir. Happy Friday. What's going on?
Happy Friday indeed. Stay indoors. That wildfire is really kind of rushing through. Everything is hazy here. We're in Philadelphia, so far away from Canada. I'm sure in the Midwest where you are, it's even worse. But
Yeah, I gotta tell you real quick, just to comment on that. So I saw yesterday, Chicago had the worst air quality in the entire world from the wildfires. So really, really hazardous weather out here. So if you're in the Chicago area, like Moch said, or anywhere affected by these wildfires, try to stay indoors as much as you can because this smoke is no joke, and it's definitely if you have respiratory issues, you shouldn't be really doing anything outside.
yeah, 100%. And they were talking about it during the game yesterday. They kept going into up to the outfielders, asking them if they were okay and how did they feel, how were they breathing, and they were okay last night. But I'm assuming tonight might be a different story, so look out for delays, not from the weather, but from the smoke. It could happen, and it could really ruin your bet. So be careful.
Yeah, I mean, literally, they don't want the smoke. You know what I mean? So, uh,
Oh, oh, that's
sorry.
terrible, Prince. All right, looking back to yesterday, first game back from the All-Star game, we cash absolutely sweat-free. Mets Phillies under 9.5 at -104 cashes. I mean, it was a one-run game going into the fifth. So, I mean, there was a couple home runs. So if you got that home run promo, well done for you. You got, I think it was like 4 or 5 home runs. Basically, every single run was a home run. There just wasn't a lot of actual action in the game. So I'm happy. How do you do yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday officially for the show picks, we went 2-2. We hit on Sporting Kansas City, St. Louis, over 2.5, over three. Both of those cash, but we comboed that as one play. Of course, we were looking to live bet that, so we got a good price on that and ended up cashing that one out. We also hit on Vikingers Stjarnan over 3 goals. We had to wait till the second half. It was actually 0-0 at halftime, but all 4 goals came in the second half. So no sweat there. Cash both of those out. We missed on Montreal Toronto. We had over three. That ended up being a 0-0 score. So sometimes funky things happen when you have league coming back from a long break, and it looks like this one definitely did not go to plan or to form here. But we missed on that. And then Seattle, shocking, absolutely shocking result at home, getting blown out by the Portland Timbers 5-1. That was Portland's just their second win on the road of this entire MLS season. So they had been absolutely dreadful on the road. But wow, Seattle, that's a bad way to start to restart the season here, losing at home to maybe the worst team on the road in the MLS. A 5-1 blowout. Nobody saw that coming. So missed on those, but we did hit on a lot of the live plays. Stern, I know you were a part of that. We were crushing the live plays in the Conference League qualifiers, and we continued that in the MLS. Last night, we even hit on Liga MX. So, with the live bets over on the VIP channel, I would say we had one hell of a day.
Yes, we did. Also, you said nobody saw that coming. Now, I didn't really mention it on the show, but I did have Portland three-way money line last night. And
Well done, then.
every single time you kept saying, "Oh, we're going on Seattle," I was like, "Oh no!" But and then I was like looking a hedge, and after the second goal, and then as I was trying to input my hedge for a double chance, and for both teams to score, Portland scored another goal within 3 minutes of their second goal, and then they just continued to dominate. So I felt pretty good about
Yeah,
that.
I think we need to change your name to Aristotle Bets. I'm gonna start seeing if we can
Uh,
we can make that official.
I mean, listen, man, it's literally just a probability versus actualities and trying see where the betting edges are. We end up losing way more than we win, but the wins that we have are plus 3, 4, 5, 600, which makes the winnings worth it. I'm only
Yeah,
hitting 40% on these soccer bets, but I'm up a solid number of units just betting on the underdogs pretty much day in, day out.
I love it. I love that model. And hey, I bow down to you on this 100%. Well done.
I will try to share more in the future, especially if you have a pick in that game, even if I disagree, because that's what it's all about. Speaking of things that we disagree on, Chicago Bears, well done on your showdown from last year. They did make the playoffs. I am actively considering going on another showdown because I'm assuming you think they're going to make the playoffs and I don't.
Absolutely. 100%. I'm ready.
Not putting it out yet, but I am considering it. Just letting you know.
Can't wait. I hope you do. Let's do this again.
Which, by the way, I hedged financially, so I didn't make money off of the Bears making the
Yeah,
playoffs.
but seeing you in a Cowboys jersey, that was a nice payoff, and I think it was probably something that even money wouldn't pay for you.
That
I
is
don't think
true.
my guess is the money wasn't worth it. To you and
The money was
yourself.
not worth it. The $25 that I won was not worth it. Not at all. Did you see that I sent a few I think I sent two photos. One was the best realistic version. The second one, it looks like they removed my eyebrows and gave me Botox and like they just straight like what is AI doing?
Yeah, they jacked that one up. Good thing you didn't use that one, but I'm glad you posted it because it was funny.
I think AB had a laugh as well. Shout out to AB from the Driving the Line. Definitely a decent
Yes,
podcast to check out. And that is where
yes.
Prince and I met. And we're both on for probably, at least most of a year.
Yeah, about a year. Yep, right around a year. That's where we first started interacting. And yeah, but by the way, shout out to AB. Hope everything's okay. That we I know he's going through some stuff right now, but looking forward to him coming back soon, and hopefully we can jump back on that show again. That's a lot of fun, and he's one of the greatest cappers out there. By the way, guys, he's just a great person as well. So definitely give him a follow over on Twitter at Alan Bell. Alan G Bell, I think. I'd have to double check. But yeah, great guy, great capper, and just a great personality. So big shout out to AB and thanks to him for everything that he gave us. He really gave us our first platform before we decided to branch out here and kind of go on our own. So much credit
Yep.
and much appreciation to him.
Yep, 100%. And just as we're mentioning one of the shows, we are kind of the juxtaposition between DTL Driving the Line with Alan Bell and the Early Edge with Sia Najad and CBS Sports. We are literally the middle of those two universes, and they kind of spawn from the same place anyway. But shout out to both of those shows. I highly recommend listening to them whenever they come out. All right, let's get into today's action. We are back with the MLB. We have multiple plays. If you are following along on my premium channels, which I hope you are, but no, I guess no real pressure. I have how many plays today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plays. 8 of those are on baseball. One of them is in the UFC. I am going to come out with my UFC article later today, hopefully, where I will have a pick in every single fight. We've been doing pretty well. But let's get into the MLB today, unless you have any objections or something that you want to get to for a live play coming up, because I do know that we have a ton of sports today.
Yeah, nothing for me. All the day games are going to be over on the VIP channel. So nothing here that we're going to be covering on the show. So we can definitely just jump into Major League Baseball.
Awesome. And also, thanks for making me spend a half an hour looking up all those random leagues.
I know. I'm so sorry. I feel bad. I try to give as much description on the leagues as possible because I'm like, I'm like, oh my god, these guys are getting no idea who any of these teams are, where they play. I don't even know. Half the time I gotta look and try to like get the spelling right and everything. I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, I always try to do my best to help you guys out. But sorry about that.
I love when you put the screenshots of the bet because I'm like, I know that he just didn't want to type out 15.
Yes. I'm glad you picked up on that 100%. I'm like, oh no, this name is too long. This league is like 5 words in it. Nope. I'm just gonna take a picture and send a screenshot. You guys can follow along.
Yeah, and Michael, just give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. I see people dropping in and out, which sometimes means there is some technical difficulties. Message us in the chat if you can. But let's get to today. Very excited for today. If you guys are following CBS Sports Early Edge, actually, Sniper Matt Snyder. I have the same picks as him, honestly, and I don't mind it one bit. I published it, and then I went to look on Sportsline to see, what looks other people are kind of looking at, and I was like, oh, he has the same plays I do. Let's go with the Tigers money line -104 for a full unit on FanDuel. I'll take this up to -110, -115. I really just like getting the Tigers as a slight underdog here. I did like the Tigers preseason. Things started off as bad as they could, injuries, bad play, yada, yada, yada. But they're slowly moving up slowly from the bottom. Now they are ranking 22nd in the league, and they're only a few games out of the wild card race. Tigers are starting Troy Melton, who is having an unbelievable season. He is sporting a 1.82 ERA on the season, and on the road, that drops to 133. The whiff to strikeout numbers are pretty average, 25%, 24.5% whiff, 21.5% strikeout. But everything else is pretty great. He has a 6% barrel rate to a 36.3% hard hit rate, and the walk rate's under 6%. So no problems with control there. He is facing off against the Angels, who have the worst win percentage in the league, AL and NL combined. They are starting Reed Detmers. To be fair to Detmers, the underlying metrics are much better than the surface stats, but those surface stats are rough. About half the time, he seems like he has it and can pitch wonderfully through 6 or 7 or even 8 innings with, again, really great underlying metrics. But the other half of the time, he's letting up so many runs. For instance, in the last 3 out of his last 4 starts, he has given up 5 earned runs. He also struggles at home a little bit more with a 4.77 home ERA. This is a very friendly home run hitting ballpark, which is pretty much one of his primary concerns. We have 80-degree weather, wind blowing out 9 miles per hour. This is going to be a really fun environment. And with the Tigers coming up offensively, over the last month, they have ranked 14th in weighted run creation on the road. And when you compare that against the Angels, who have ranked 28th at home in weighted run creation, I just don't see this as really being close. I don't think the Tigers should be the underdogs here. I'm more than happy to bet on them for the whole of the game. I see Drew here. I don't know if he has requested. I would love to hear his opinion. But Prince, any thoughts here?
No thoughts for me really. And I know Drew. I think he's having some connection issues. We keep trying to get him in. He's bouncing back and forth between listener and speaker. So hopefully we can get that situated. Because I would be interested to hear what he has to say. But I do have a question for you about baseball. But I'll let you get through all your picks first. And then I'll ask you my question.
So I don't have any other official plays in baseball. I mean, I do. I have 8 other ones. You know what? Here, I'm not going to go on the official recap screen, but for you guys listening here, my second favorite play of the day is the Yankees first 3 money line. You can get that at -115 on Caesars. I would not go past -115. That's pretty much my limit there, but just the pitching matchup here is just not really close. You have somebody for the Dodgers named Roki Sasaki who has having extreme control issues. He has a very low strikeout rate, very high walk rate, terrible barrel to hard hit rate numbers. And going against the Yankees, I don't care what struggles they have had recently. This team is going to beat you when you lay the ball down the middle of the plate. Now, I'm not so thrilled to bet against the Dodgers, which is why I'm going on the first 3 here. Screw it. This is going to be an official half unit play. Garrett Cole, on the other hand, I expect a very different second half of the season from him. Metrics haven't been all that great, but the control has been there. He has a 5.3% walk rate and then mixed underlying metrics. The first 3 innings is really where he excels the first time around the order, and I expect the Yankees to be up at the end of 3. Push conditions included. I'll take that any day. All right, Drew, you heard both of my plays, hopefully. What do you got?
Third time's a charm for Twitter. But my favorite play of the day is, I think this is great value. I haven't seen this line for Sandy in a while. He may not have the best ERA expected. He's technically above league average slightly. I think league average is like 4.2. But as of recently, the workhorse, and the Marlins don't mind overworking him, even though probably I'm surprised they trade him and even they keep him. Sandy's spoken out that he doesn't like being limited to like under, kind of like the 90. He hasn't strictly said under 90 pitches, but he wants to go deep in games. We get over 17.5 at minus 141, which is great value. I know it's against the Brewers. I know the Brewers offense is really good, but Sandy is somebody they let work no matter what. If his last games in general, his last, I believe, 10 games, he's had 7 innings pitched, 8 innings. 5.2 is the one, 6, 8, 7, 7. Like, he just consistently goes there no matter how many runs he's given up. As of late, he's been a little better, but he's given up 3 runs or less in majority of those games. So, yeah, give me Sandy over outs. The last 2 games combined, he's pitched 15 innings. So, I think that's great value.
I don't mind this at all. He's been going deep. He has been profiling as a much different pitcher this year than he has in the last year or two. He seems to be coming back into form. The one thing that I want to see from him is bringing up his whiff to strikeout numbers, but everything else pretty much across the board, it looks really good. So I'm cool backing him. I don't mind backing the Marlins actually on today as the underdog either.
Yeah, I think Vegas giving the Brewers deserve respect, but I think this line is, I call it the Brewers juice, to where they're giving the Brewers a little too much, I think, respect, in my opinion.
Yeah, another look here, if you wanted to go the first 5 under, I don't think is a bad look either. I don't really trust the Marlins offensively. So if you think Sandy Alcantara is going to do well, I would bet on the under on today's game. Maybe even the full game over under with bullpens, just like we did yesterday with the Mets-Phillies game. I think we're going to see a lot of unders today, despite the hot weather. All right, Prince, what questions you got for today on MLB Slate?
Yeah, so just a couple questions, just for the listeners out there, to give them maybe some direction on these boosts. There's 2 boosts over on DraftKings. One of them is a 50% boost for any bet on the MLB, minus 200 or better, and then there's another boost. It's a 25% boost for any yes first run inning or no first run inning. Any thoughts on either of those boosts? Which way maybe the listeners might want to head towards for those boosts?
Yeah, 100%. I typically do this. I look on Picket and Juice Reel. Those are the two sites, apps that I use to find value. It's also those are the 2 apps that I use to track all my bets, to find the best lines. Highly recommend. I can also give out links to both of those sites if you guys want a referral link. No problem, but I do highly recommend getting them. They really have helped me understand and control some of my losses and wins, and get the most value that I can out of the books who are already taking so much from us. So I only got one of those boosts, the no run, yes run first inning. And instead of the 25% all general boost, I got a no sweat token. So what I did was I took the Chicago White Sox, Toronto Blue Jays, no run first inning over on DK. All right, that was at minus 105. Boosted, it goes to plus 120. And then over on FanDuel, I hedged on the yes run first inning. And I believe, let me double check, but I basically am going to come out a few bucks in either direction. That's kind of how I like to play these boosts. Yeah, I got this at minus 108 on the yes run first inning over on FanDuel. So nice hedging opportunity there in both directions. And then for the no sweat bet, but you can definitely use this on the 25% all general boost because, well, it works out that way. Ben Williamson for the Tampa Bay Rays, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, plus 106 over on DK. And then it is plus minus 105 over on MGM for the under hits, runs, RBIs. So a very nice opportunity there to also guarantee yourself some winnings. I generally try to bet a few $100s on both positions so that I can come out 10, 15, 20, $25 in profit in either direction. That's generally how I like to play these things. I've lowered my unit size down so that getting anywhere from $10 to $20 in free money on either side really does help my bottom line. And that's kind of how I chose to play it.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Yep, agree with you. And excited to tell that. All right. Thanks.
Yeah, my pleasure. Otherwise, by the way, if you just wanted to pick a side and the boost wasn't enough, it was, let's say it's only $10, $25, I would highly recommend going with the Braves first five money line with the full game money line. You can get that probably at minus 160, minus 170. With the boost, you could probably get it down to about minus 130, which is probably the max that I would play for that. Yeah, Drew, what do you got?
Yeah, no, mentioning your boost, I got the no sweat thing as well. I would say for the 50% boost, you could use it on, like, I guess this is one of those on my Sandy outs at minus 141. I like using it on outplays for my personal. We're going to use it on hits, run, RBIs, you can. And then no sweats, I always say, since you know you're going to probably bet again, you try to max them out as much as you can. And then for the yes runs first inning, are going to use it. Yes, no. I like the yes runs first inning, even though it's minus 3 boost. For the A's Nationals game, these are two teams that can score at will in the first inning, and they're playing in it's going to be at 88 degrees there with 9 miles per hour going to left field. It's going to be at night. I know it's going to be at night and maybe chillier. It will not in Sacramento. So if I had to pick one yes run first inning or no, that's probably my favorite for that case. So that's my advice for there.
Yeah, one more look. Just one more look. Rays, Red Sox, no run first inning on game 1 was a premium play of mine. I played that for a half a unit. I think that there's another look for a yes or no run first inning as well. So plenty of options there. I don't mind A's, Nationals, yes run first inning. You're right. Both of them are really solid. And, we're coming back. I'm sure I would assume that a lot of these games do have a yes run first inning and then tend to settle down, as we have seen with a lot of pitchers coming in from the cold. All you need to do is jump on one pitch and you cash that yes run first inning. All right. Prince, any other questions or thoughts in the MLB?
No, nothing else for me for baseball.
Drew, any last thoughts?
Nothing else for me. Just looking forward to full slate of baseball being back.
Yeah, for sure. And also, Addison, if you want to join, come in and talk F1, which does not mean first inning. What it does mean is Formula One. Feel free to request. We'll bring you on. Happy to talk racing. Unfortunately, I apologize. I haven't really gotten around to it. A lot of things going on in my personal life, but yeah, always happy to talk. And if you have thoughts, please request. We would love to have you on. Until you request, let's go, Prince. Where are we going next? I have UFC, we have World Cup, we have WNBA. We have so many options to get to.
Let's go through the WNBA real quick. I'll just rip through that. It's going to be a quick play for you guys, and then afterwards we can either go to your UFC or we can go to Addison. But I'll go through a W real quick here, guys. Just one play for me in the WNBA tonight. Got a 2-pick parlay here. We're going back to a player props that have been pretty successful for us throughout the season. We're going back to it tonight. Give me Angel Reese, 10 plus rebounds. We're going to parlay that with Caitlin Clark, 2 plus threes. We got the Atlanta Dream taking on the Toronto Tempo tonight. The Tempo are the worst rebounding team in the league statistically. So I do think Angel Reese is in for a monster night on the boards. Then, of course, the Caitlin Clark at home taking on the lowly Seattle Storm. I think she's in line to get a couple threes at least in this one. So Caitlin Clark, 2 plus threes. Angel Reese, 10 plus rebounds. That probably comes in at minus 130.
Oh, good old liable. Absolutely love it. Drew, is your hand raised based on WNBA or is it still raised from before?
I think it's glitched out. I think it got taken down, but it might be glitched out.
Fair enough. All right, Addison, welcome into the show. Longtime listener, first time speaker, I believe. Maybe you came in once before, but what do you got for us, man?
Hey, check 1, 2. You guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can, actually, very nicely.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm a big F1 fan and following it for a long time, but I've only been betting it for a couple of years. But I'm starting to find, as seasons progress, some markets that books are just not adjusting. So I've got a market right now that I've been experimenting with, and that is winning margins. Currently, practice sessions in F1, the winning margin has been less than a quarter of a second in 9 of the last 10 and 12 of the last 14. and that would be nine in a row as well. And the way you find that market is you look under practice, winning margins, and it'll give you actually a time code 0.000-0.250. So basically, the difference in between the first position and the second position has to be less than a quarter of a second, if I'm doing my math correct. Yes. And that's hit. It actually just cashed about 5 seconds ago to go for 9 in a row now.
Wow. Okay. So what book should we be looking at? What day of the week is Formula One? And like where's like the best kind of looks to kind of settle around for Formula One?
A lot of books offer it. The winning margin market can be a little different. Sometimes it's even more minute. So people will even go to like the tenths of a second. So you want to get that quarter second buffer. The way I've been doing it is laying juice at MGM. It's been like minus 110, and just the most recent session was minus 140. So I think they're starting to catch on over there at MGM that they're kind of giving me money. You can also do this at DraftKings. The way to do it at DraftKings, though, is I bet two markets. I bet 0.0 to 0.1. The last session that was plus 300, and then a 0.1 to 0.250. That was plus 200. So when you crunch the numbers, it's about even, maybe a little bit better than the MGM market. Obviously, you're only going to win one of those markets at DK, but because they're 2 plus money bets, you come out profitable.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
I like doing the same thing on 3-ball matchups in PGA. If I really think that there's only 2 competitors, I'll bet plus money on both of the 2 main guys and just hope that the third guy doesn't win. And that way you pretty much cash out in either side. Yeah, I think that's a really smart way to go about it.
In F1, typically the weekends start on Friday. So today's the first day of the Belgian Grand Prix, the Spa track, which is just wonderful. If you've never seen a race there, they have a very famous corner called U Rogue. It's a very steep incline corner, flat out. It's just a beautiful thing to see. The next event in this weekend's activities will be practice session 3. That'll be early tomorrow morning. Let me see if I have the exact time. 6:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. And then qualifying will be at 10 o'clock tomorrow after practice.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. All right. So if we're looking to make a best bet for this weekend, where do we go?
Best bet this weekend. Well, I mean, I just got to keep riding that practice session streak. So I would just look for that market, the winning margin for practice 3. And I would lay the juice. I'm going to, because I'm playing with house money. If you want to try and parlay it with something, more power to you. That right now, that's my best bet. 9 in a row, 12 out of the last 14, and it's just hitting.
Yeah, if you can do us a favor, when that bet comes out and you bet it yourself, if you can just message me or tweet at me, use our OnlyBets podcast at OnlyBets podcast to tag us, we will definitely repost it. And if it's okay with you, I'll put it on my premium article so that everybody who is attached to it gets an opportunity to bet that market. And if you want to do this as a regular thing, brother, please, this would be a great add-on to our show.
Well, let's see how this one goes. I do have the propensity to jinx myself whenever I talk publicly about my F1 betting. I don't know why, but as soon as
it's not just you, brother.
I know, but I hate doing that because, one, a lot of people don't really know much about F1, so they're really sort of relying on what I say. And so then whenever it doesn't hit, I feel double bad. But yeah, man, I will definitely let you guys know.
Yeah, please do. And anytime you have any kind of bet or look or anything like that, just message us or tweet at us, and we're happy to add you into the mix. And if you ever want to come onto the show, You can come on ad hoc just like you did now, or you can give us a message ahead of time to be like, hey, I have some information on F1, maybe on Thursday's show, saying, hey, it's coming starting tomorrow, or here's some looks, whatever it is, man. This is the show that I want to be as inclusive as possible. And I think for the most part, we have done a pretty good job at allowing anybody who wants to kind of come up here and give their opinion or their take. And for those guys listening and you're not really sure, bet a quarter unit, bet a tenth of a unit, whatever it is. Get yourself into a role. And if Addison, if you keep betting this over and over again, and you're successful in the long term, don't worry about 1 or 2 or 3 bets going wrong. I've had streaks where I'm just having losers for about a week or two, and then it turns around. It's always swing of things. And if you're confident in it, do yourself a favor and just keep putting yourself out there, because it will turn out in the long run. And even if it doesn't, you will learn. And especially when you put yourself in the spotlight, you will learn where the stresses are and how to pivot in real time so that you will, and either way, we would love to hear about a new sport that we're not really so familiar with. I am looking at my projections. I don't really have anything to really share at this point, but I will continue working on that F1 DFS projections, which will help me in turn make picks. But yeah, thank you, man. Any last thoughts for this weekend?
Go Ferrari.
All righty. Sounds good. Thanks, Addison. And feel free to stay on if you want. No pressure. We can come back and you can talk about the question of the day or whatever. No pressure. Prince or Drew, any thoughts on F1 or any questions you have for Addison before we let him go?
No real question for me, but of course, yeah, but for sure, man. Thanks for jumping on with us. As always, we always appreciate new listeners coming and jumping on, or not new listeners, but new speakers coming and jumping on with us. And to Moshe's point, I love hearing about new sports, and anytime we can grow the brand here in terms of the versatility of sports that we offer is always going to be a plus. So definitely, man. Anytime you want to jump on, like Moshe said, open invitation. We'd be love to have you on for talk anything really.
Yeah, for sure. Addison, any questions for us before you move on? It could be about baseball or WNBA or anything like that. And yeah, any kind of lasting thought?
I'd just be curious. Do any of you guys follow any motorsports or have any experience with that stuff? Just sort of gauging your fandom.
I'll throw in a few bets on NASCAR every once in a while. I do have pretty good projections for that, where I feel confident in kind of giving out, or not giving out, but at least playing a little bit of that market. I don't really watch so much recently with my 4-year-old because he's obsessed with cars. I've been watching a little bit on Sundays for some of those NASCAR events. But I'm not so familiar with what the skill is involved and how to kind of go about what are the advantages and disadvantages from each type of racer, and how does that affect them going into any given tournament or game, you know what I mean? So I'm still learning myself, but I am interested, and I do follow every once in a while. I would say drag racing is a fun one that I've kind of fallen into. just completely by random. No, I don't really know what I'm watching, but I really enjoy it, and I have projections, so sometimes I'll put a bet or two in on that. Overall, though, not as much as some of the other sports.
Right on. Yeah, I think that's cool. I really just follow Formula One. I know a little bit about IndyCar, and I'll watch racing when it's on television, but each league is just so unique, and even within itself, it changes from track to track, year to year. This year F1 has new cars, new regulations, so it's kind of been like a clean slate. And now that we're on the 9th or 10th race of the season, the trends are starting to really show their heads, and so I've been attacking them.
Yeah, I definitely hear that. I enjoy it. Yeah, it is fun, and definitely looking forward to having more analysis in the future. Yeah, Prince, what do you got?
Yeah, no, just to touch on what you said. I mean, same for me. I'll be honest. I really don't know anything at all about any of the motorsports, but I'm always willing to learn, and I'd love to hear any kind of takes or inputs or insights that you have on just the racing world in general. So again, like anytime you want to come on, and maybe next time that you give out some picks, maybe we could pick your brain a little bit, and you give us some insight for the listeners here on just some general topics about the racing world and stuff. Because for myself, I'm a complete novice. I'll be honest, I know absolutely nothing about it, but I love to learn. So, and I'm sure the listeners would as well.
I do have a question, actually, Addison. If How often do F1 rules and regulations change? And the change for this year, is that supposed to be like pretty solid? Like, can we kind of start to wrap our head around the new format and kind of rely on that in the upcoming years, or can we expect things to change quickly and soon anyway?
That's a great question. I don't know what the intervals are. I want to say it's at least 4 years, I think. And honestly, they tweak things even as the season goes. I will like compare the FIA, which is the Federation Internationale Automobiles. Um, I would compare them to like FIFA in the way that it's just like ad hoc. It's just like, okay, what I don't want to say corrupt, but it's a little
That's
bit
not a
flat.
great way to start a sentence.
It's a little bit like a fly by the seat of your pants, you know,
Pun
federation.
intended.
So
Sorry, I can't
yeah.
help myself.
No, that was great. But yes, I think that, like I said, now that we're in the 9th or 10th race of the season, I'm starting to feel comfortable about certain bets. But the thing about motor racing is that it's so volatile, and it takes one puncture of a tire on a random curb hit, to totally throw off your bet. So I always bet, half units, quarter units, and it, never really like to lay a whole lot of juice whenever it comes to things like that. Obviously, some markets require you to lay juice, but just anything can happen on any given Sunday.
Yeah, 100%. I've had multiple DFS lineups, especially in NASCAR, where the last lap or two gets into a big crash, and then all of a sudden my leader or winner that I have had picked just loses, goes from first, second, or third place all the way down to like 20 or 30th. And I'm like, oh, come on.
Yep.
Like I was good. I was tracking extremely well. What happened? And then some no-name person comes out of the middle of nowhere and wins the whole thing. It happens. It is one of those volatility sports, even more than golf, because I feel like golf, you have to kind of inch your way there. And I feel like in racing, you just anything can really mix up the board and completely turn everything on its head. Like you could be trailing by 20 or so positions and then just all of a sudden be in a top five.
That actually brings up a good point, is that live betting for F1 can be extremely lucrative if you know what the team strategies are and if you can figure it out before the books do. Not that maybe I have ever done that before, but maybe a friend has. You can sneak in a bet there and make some cash, before the books adjust a number if you know what's going on.
Yeah, 100%. And if you ever have any live plays or again, pre-tournament plays or anything like that, please tweet at us or message me and I can get it onto our show. Or if you ever want to come on ahead of time, whatever it is, man, we're happy to have you on. And I definitely appreciate you jumping on. All right, let's get to UFC. This is going to be quite the fight night. Now, maybe not as exciting as last week, but at least we have projected for the final main card to actually go more than 30 seconds. Drew, what do you got for this Saturday night?
Yeah, I have two plays, both in the main. I'll go with the non-main event. First, my favorite play in the main card for the non-DDP was Cannoneer. Might not to go the distance. I think we're getting this a good value at minus 105 here. These are both strikers, and both fighters actually have pretty good takedown defense. Both fighters average around, I believe, 4 strikes per minute, which is really good. And I think this will be a slugfest. I know it's only 3 rounds, but it's probably getting knocked out. I think you can do the fight to end by KO, but I like to be safe for fights not to go this fight.
Sorry, I think I went in and out there. I don't mind that. I don't know. That fight scares me. I can see it kind of going either way. It is Jared kind of you're talking about the Christian Leroy Duncan fight, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I don't you have a lot of really extreme favorites in this fight, which is not something that we've had to deal with in the past. So I do see value on a lot of these underdogs. But yeah, I haven't really gone through that fight enough to really make a pick. What about your second play here? Because I do have a play on the final fight of the night.
Yeah, definitely. And something with the UFC, I've been doing well, trying to go the distance and money lines in general. I think my last UFC picks, it was like first time because I started in the UFC more. I went negative there, so we're trying to positive again. One of them with the McKinney fight was absolutely crazy. I thought he was going to win that. But when it comes to D and Usman, I actually, for better value, I don't like this fight to go double chance by KO. 6 of his 10 UFC. He's fought and he's won by KO or submission. He's lost one fight, and that was to Chimaev. Argument Chimaev didn't really do anything. Like DDP was just sitting there and he was just being better. And then there's multiple times where refs should have probably had them both come up because Chimaev was just like barely tapping him. But overall, DDP, he just seems always to find a way to win. And Usman is like 1-3 last 4 fights. I am a fan of Usman, but he is getting up there in age. He's a very gritty fighter to where he's very smart. He's very tactical. Both of the fighters can grapple. DDP does have a lot worse takedown defense, but he knows what to do. I would say when he's on the ground, he's very strong. He's very hard to like submit on the ground. We kind of saw him with Chimaev fight. Chimaev couldn't really get any submission on him. So I just think DDP with his better striking, slightly better striking ability, I think this fight, especially since it's 5 rounds, I think he'll finish it within the 5 rounds.
Yeah, I do lean that direction. You will have to read and pay attention to my UFC article later. I do like the fight to not go the distance in the Du Plessis Usman fight, but I'm going to go with my pick here. Dricus Du Plessis money line and parlayed with the over 1.5 rounds -140 over on Bet365. I put 0.75 units on this. I think people are undervaluing Du Plessis after he just got steamrolled by Chimaev on the mat. But this is a wholly different fight here. Usman doesn't really have the same skills to keep Du Plessis down for too long. Usman also usually relies on a high volume output where he generally overwhelms opponents. The problem is Du Plessis actually has the better cardio and durability, and I think he's going to get out into the second round where he will eventually be able to tee off against a tired Usman. Even if Usman gets Plessis down to the ground, I don't think that's a game over. Du Plessis is so dangerous from the bottom. I think that he picks this. I like the fight to not go the distance and Du Plessis to win. The odds on that were way not worth it to bet on. So I took the over 1.5 rounds with Du Plessis to win. But I do like your play, and I do not expect the fight to go the distance. But again, pay attention to my UFC article, and I will have additional picks there. But I definitely think Du Plessis is by far the rightful favorite, and I do not agree with the line movement towards Usman. I get that he's dangerous, but after 2 or 3 rounds, that man is probably going to have a lack of concentration and a lack of effort just due to the extreme output that he provides early in the rounds. Drew, any agreement or disagreement on that, on my take?
Yeah, the same page with DDP for this matter. And I know Usman had a good fight with Trump, could have possibly won it, but like what kind of use of DDP? Respect Usman, but at the end of the day, though, we have to look at the level of competition. I mean, Sean Strickland just beat Chimaev, and DDP's beat him twice when Sean Strickland was a little bit on. Israel Adesanya came out of nowhere against him and beat him. He's full title fights. He was looking nearly, unbeatable, and I think he kind of just came out flat to the point. He was never really touched, and you can make an argument he was hitting Chimaev more, and I think they'll get a rematch and he could win. But overall, though, I just like the level of competition better for DDP, and this guy was steamrolling everybody kind of in sight, whether it was just like, unanimous decision or he would knock someone out with some miss. I love about his fighting style is that he can submit or KO you. He can do both. To see in this kind of division, in the middleweight division as much. So yeah.
Yeah, in agreement. I'm going to be excited to go over the rest of the fights and make my picks as the day goes on. All right, Prince, let's get to soccer. I know we have World Cup. We also have domestic leagues back in action. We have the MLS, Liga MX, whatever. What do you got for today?
Yeah, we actually got a big MLS game tonight. It's the El Tráfico, which is probably the biggest rivalry in all of MLS. LA FC taking on LA Galaxy. It's going to be, I think, a 10:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff, if I'm not mistaken. Look, in this head-to-head matchup, goals, and more goals is the theme when these two teams play. It's always a very entertaining match. So what we're going to look at here, two different bets. I'm looking at LA Galaxy, LAFC, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. You're going to get that at minus 135. This has hit in 7 straight head-to-head and 20 of their 26 matchups. Both teams have scored over 2.5 as hits. So again, it is a common theme between these two sides. We're also going to play LAFC, LA Galaxy over 3 at minus 120 again. Expecting to see a lot of goals in this one. Really can't see anything less than a shootout. That's just the common theme. These teams absolutely go for it every time they play each other, and it's always a really entertaining game, probably the most fun matchup to watch in the entire MLS. So before I get to my World Cup plays, any thoughts on that for you, Stern?
I do. I did play LA Galaxy's three-way money line plus 170. Saw some value there in a higher variance type of game.
Yeah, and looking at their head-to-head here real quick, they are undefeated in 3 of their last 4 at home against LAFC. So not a bad look there. We'll see what happens, but definitely expect goals tonight. All right, and then moving on to the World Cup. Of course, we're winding down here to the final 2 games. We got the third place game taking place tomorrow on Saturday. This one's going to be in Miami. We have France taking on England. I've got 2 plays for you guys in this one. First up, I'm just going to take France on the money line, minus 110. I think France is the better team in this matchup here. And also, if you see some rotated sides, which I think you're likely to, right? I think a lot of these guys who have been playing a lot of minutes are just honestly going to opt out. This game doesn't matter. It really doesn't mean anything to either one of these teams. So the fan bases won't care. They're not going to, you really don't gain anything from winning this game. And so I think a lot of the big names are likely to sit. I honestly don't think you're going to see Harry Kane. By the way, if you do, you're probably going to see him very limited. He looks absolutely exhausted. In his last 2 games, he's been pretty much irrelevant. I think that Mexico game took a lot out of him. He had no voice after that game. And, of course, playing in that high altitude, he's an older guy, right, in terms of soccer player age. And so I think he's taxed, personally. And I don't expect him to do much in this game. So I would stay away from his props. I know he's in the golden boot race, but I really don't think he's going to be very effective, and he may not play much at all, if at all. This one, and even if you see 2 rotated sides, France's second team is still better than England's second team. So I think everything lines up here for France to be in line to win this one. Not to mention, this is another hot game. Heat, Miami there with the high humidity, likely to be around 100 degrees with the heat index at kickoff. And also storms are projected to be in the area. So we might see some weather delays tomorrow, which obviously is going to disrupt things in terms of the flow of the game and how these teams approach it. So for that reason, I know the third place games typically see a higher scoring game. I actually think we're going to see a lower scoring game. So my second play for this one is going to be France or England, okay, on a double chance, meaning one of the 2 teams are going to win. And under 4.5 goals, that comes in at minus 150. The reason I think we're going to see one of them win and not see a draw is because of the 23rd place matches, 19 of them have finished in regulation. Only once has it ever gone to extra time. Why is that? Because teams don't care about the third place game. So they're going to do everything they can to avoid having to play it longer than they already have to play. So if you see a tie game in the 85th, 86th minute, you're going to see both teams go absolutely gung-ho for that winning goal and play virtually no defense whatsoever because they don't want to stay there any longer, especially in that heat after a long tournament. They got their domestic leagues coming up. The last thing they want to do is play another 30 minutes in a game that doesn't matter. So you are definitely going to see one of these teams win. And again, with the heat being a factor, I do think we're likely to see a lower scoring game, especially with rotated sides, which is what I'm assuming of the two countries that really don't gain anything from this game. So my two plays for that one, France money line, France or England double chance plus under 4.5, minus 110 and minus 150. Most, let me get your thoughts on that, and then I'll get to the World Cup final on Sunday.
I'm taking the value in high variance type of games with the underdogs in both. Just simply put,
Cool.
I can't trust if you're rotating in any which way, shape, or form. I'm not trusting you. I'm not trusting the favorite, and I'm going to take the value on the underdog.
Yeah, the only thing I worry about England is the mentality wise. Coming off their emotional loss, the way that they lost, I think there was a lot more expectations. I would say the way that they lost was more emotional than how France lost. France was just outplayed, right? It wasn't really a shock. I mean, they played against a great team like Spain, but England had it, right? They had it, and then the way that they lost, conceding 2 goals in the last 10 minutes of the game, and the way that everything happened. Of course, them not winning for 60 years, all the stories and the histrionics between the two sides. There's just a lot of emotional baggage, I think, that comes with England into this one, and I question their motivation more so than France. I think France will be fine. I think they'll bounce back and want to prove something like, hey, we're still an elite European team, and kind of use this as maybe some sort of type of way to prove that. And then also Mbappe right there leading the Golden Boot race with Messi right now. I think they're tied at, I want to say 9 goals apiece, if I'm not mistaken. So more incentive for Mbappe as well to get some goals in this one and potentially lead his side to a win. So that's the only thing I worry about with England is just the emotional side of it, the emotional toll that everything has gone through, that they've gone through in this tournament. Addison, any thoughts on this one?
I was actually going to ask about some futures. I was looking at the Golden Glove winner and the young player of the tournament. Some books still have those markets up. I was able to get Yamal for the young player at minus 150 earlier this week. He's now minus 250. The Golden Glove winner is Simone from Spain. He's minus 700 now, but if you parlay the two, minus 175. I don't know if you all get down with anything like that. I'm also not the most experienced soccer bettor, so I'd be interested in your guys' takes on those type of markets for the World Cup.
Yeah, so for me personally, I think that's good value. Full disclosure, I took Lamine Yamal before the tournament started as Young Player of the Year. I got that at plus 250, plus 300, something like that. So definitely looking forward to cashing that one out. I think that one is in line to cash out. I think the reason for that being, the reason why I took it is because I thought Spain would go farther than most teams. And so it's kind of like a what have you done for me lately award. And because he's still in the tournament, eyes are on him. And I think, he's more likely to win that award. Then going back to the Spanish goalkeeper winning the Golden Glove. Yeah, I mean, they've had 6 clean sheets out of their 7 games. They've allowed just 1 goal this entire tournament. And so kind of a preview to how I see the World Cup final going. I think it's going to be another low-scoring game, which means I think he's in line to maybe get another clean sheet, maybe concede 1 goal at most. But I like that a lot because I do think he probably ends up winning the award based on just how few of goals they've conceded in this tournament. So that's a good parlay. I would definitely play it at minus 175. I think that's a good price. Moshe, any thoughts on that before I get to the final play here?
No, I'm riding them all as well with you from the pre-tournament. So not going to be a fresh bet for me, but I definitely like it.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. Then let's just go ahead and get to the granddaddy of them all, as they say in college football. The World Cup final, Spain versus Argentina. Look, this matchup is a tale of two teams here. You got the better team against the team of destiny, right? Argentina has scraped and clawed their way to this final somehow, some way. Some people say it's been with some help. I'm not going to go there, but however they did it, and they're here in the final. And so you gotta. The question is, are you taking the team of destiny or are you taking the better team? For me, I'm going to take the better team. Give me Spain on the money line, straight up on the money line, plus 130. I think the Cinderella ride ends for Argentina. I know the storylines are there for Messi to win his second World Cup and go out on his swan song from the World Cup here, winning 2 World Cups in a row. But I just think Spain is too good. I think Spain is not going to make the same mistakes that other teams have made against Argentina. Argentina has had a fairly easy path to this stage of the tournament when you think about who they've had to play. Cape Verde, Egypt, Switzerland. Yeah, that's probably the easiest path that anyone has ever had to get to a semifinal. So they've had everything lined up for them, and of course, England just absolutely gave the game away, in my opinion, to the Argentinians by the way that they played in the last 20 minutes. So really, I mean, Argentina has been just like I said, it looks like a team of destiny. But I'm gonna take Spain here. I think they are significantly better, and I like them to win this one outright. Then another play I'm going to do here is going to be Spain to win the cup, just in case it goes into extra time. We'll parlay with under 3.5 goals. Again, this one is going to come in at minus 150 or minus 105. Sorry. Um, Again, weather is going to be a factor here. When we're looking at the weather here, we're expected maybe around 95 degrees with the heat index in New Jersey, so it's going to be hot. These hot games, you tend to see tired legs, which usually affects the offensive side of things. Getting back to Miami, right, just as a reference point for the Heat, all of the Miami games that have been played, 7 games in Miami, 6 out of those 7 have seen under 3.5 hit. Only once did the total go over 3.5. And so I think that's a reference here for the temperature point. We're going to see a similar temperature here in New Jersey. So I think we're in line to see maybe a cagey game here, maybe not so free flowing as World Cup finals in past. So 2 plays for me: Spain money line plus 130, and then Spain to win the cup plus under 3.5 goals at minus 105. Stern, any thoughts? And then we'll get to Drew.
Well, I definitely like the under. I took a parlay based on, so I didn't want to go against my model, which I already bet on both underdogs. So I wasn't going to take Spain, even though I do tend to think that they are the better team and should get it done. I don't think the odds are really there, which is why I believe that you're also parlaying the under in goals. And I agree with the approach. What I did was I took the France-England game under 4.5, parlayed it with this game under 3.5. I think the payout was minus 165, which I will tend or try to find boost to get that down to more reasonable odds. I do tend to think that we're going to see cagier matches. I don't think that either team is really just going to blow the other team out. If one team scores, sure. Do I see the other team scoring? Yeah, probably. I don't see more than 3 goals, though. I think that's a really good look.
Yeah, agreed. And like we said, I mean, Spain has kept 6 clean sheets. They've allowed 1 goal this entire tournament. So there's nothing to indicate that Argentina is going to put up a lot of goals against Spain based on Spain's defensive record. And just the way that Spain approaches the match, they're very possession based, which is something that Argentina has not encountered yet in this tournament. They haven't played a game where they're not going to have the ball. Spain is going to have the ball. That's what they do. They're better at it than any other team in the world. They're better at keeping possession. So there's no doubt about it. They're going to have the advantage in the possession, which is going to throw Argentina off their game, I think, and kind of mess with their their game flow and the way that they want to approach it. So yep, like that you are with me on the under as well. Drew, oh, by the way, before I get to Drew, by the way, this is also a kind of a passing of the torch game. Of course, we talked about it yesterday, that viral photo that's floating around. If you guys haven't seen it, check our profile page at OnlyBets Podcast. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it already, with Lamine Yamal as a baby being held by Messi when Messi was just 20 years old at Barcelona. Lamine Yamal's family won a raffle for Yamal to take a picture basically with Messi in a bathtub. It was this whole thing by UNICEF as a whole set of thing that they had for to charity. And it's kind of come full circle now. 20 years later, Yamal is playing Messi in the World Cup final. So kind of a destiny thing right there. And I think the torch is going to get passed to Lamine Yamal. What better player to pass it to if you want to talk about fate, if you will. Drew, any thoughts on either the third place game, first place game? And then I have a fact of the day, but I'll get your fact of the day first.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of a fact of the day kind of coincides to what kind of Stern mentioned, to where I don't expect much, really like someone to blow someone out. I saw there's only been, I think, 3 instances to where a team has won by 3 goals or more. It was Brazil in 1958. They won 2. Brazil in 1970 they won 4-1, and then France in 1998 they won 3-0. The other ones have been by 2 goals or less, so that's pretty interesting. But if I had to make a pick, of course, I'm just gonna enjoy watching the game. But if I did have, I would pick Argentina. Spain's defense has been very impressive, especially with the 6 clean sheets. But Argentina's offense and late game adjustments has impressed me extremely. Like we see them, I know they can't just keep relying on scoring goals in the final 15 minutes. Expect it to work. I'm interested to see how this Argentina's front line pushes the Spain's defenders, because this Argentina team, they are very well synchronized, and they're very tight and that knit wise. I think the key to this will be how does Argentina win? They need to take advantage of like the crossers, take advantage of the middle of the field, because the Spain sets up their defense. They set it up to a point. If I love watching how the defense is set up overall, to where, hey, you're not going to break through the box where the goalie is. You're going to have to try to cross it to beat us. So it's going to have to be Messi. I know he's like 40 years old now, like 39. It's going to have to be Messi trying to set up some stuff for his defenders and draw attention to him. But I'm always looking forward to it. I like what Stern said, to where I like the under in this match. I can see like a 2-1 game or something like that. So, yeah, I would pick Argentina of anybody, but it's going to be tight.
Yeah, I think the thing with Argentina, just to cap this off, is they're resilient, right? They're probably the most resilient team in the world. Like I said, I call them the zombies, the World Cup zombies, because just when you think they're dead, they come back to life and they end up winning the game. So they're a team that you're gonna have to beat them. They're not gonna beat themselves, right? But I think Spain is good enough to know that and smart enough. I think they have a high soccer IQ, just the way that they play, the way that they can keep possession, right? It takes intelligence to be able to keep the ball the way that they do. So I think they're going to be able to read the game enough to know that they're learn from other people's mistakes, right? Learn from other teams' mistakes, and really try to finish off this Argentina side when they get the chance. And the other thing I'll say, just to finish my final thought on this, Argentina has struggled with fast wings. That seemed to be their demise. We're looking at Egypt. They struggled against Egypt because they had some fast players on the wings. You're talking about England, same thing. And Spain, you're talking about Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams. If excuse me one sec. Sorry, I had to cough. If Nico Williams can give them anything, he's coming back from an injury, but expect him to definitely have an impact here. Both of those guys to give the Argentina some trouble. Sorry, I had a major cough there. My God, oh my God, I had to power through it. All right, I'm good. That's all I got.
All right, are we ready for Prince? Did you give your fact of the day yet?
Oh yeah, let me give that real quick. Yeah, so fun fact of the day, Drew. This one might be near and dear to your heart. So since 1982 World Cup, there is one team, one club team in the entire world that has had at least one player play in each and every World Cup. So you're talking about what's that? 12 World Cups straight in a row since 1982. That one team is Inter Milan from the Italian Serie A. They are the only team in the world that has had at least one player playing for some team in the World Cup since 1982. So, fun fact there, and shout out to Inter Milan for that fact.
Absolutely love it. Yeah, sorry, Drew, go on.
Oh, just saying, love it. Love hearing the Italian love.
Almost sounded like you said Italian leather, which is, I think, what my baseball mitt is made out of. All right, question of the day. Addison, feel free if you have one. You can. Do you have one? No pressure. We usually just kind of pick a random question. We kind of discuss it for a few minutes, as I'm sure you're aware of. You have the honor as our guest to maybe give us a question of the day. If not, Prince, you got any for us?
Let me look it up real quick.
All right, Addison, any chance you got a question of the day for us that we can kind of talk about?
I was not prepared for this, so I will say Coke or Pepsi.
I'm so sorry. Go on.
Hey, I like it. Coke or Pepsi? That's a good one. Coke.
Yeah, I gotta say Coke. Can't I don't know. I mean, I did enjoy Pepsi. Pepsi was the choice of drink when I was growing up in Milwaukee. But I think as I've gotten older, I think Coke's marketing won out. Drew, what do you got?
Drew?
I would say I like Coke better than Pepsi, but I like Pepsi's products better that are in Pepsi.
Interesting.
Ooh, I think I agree with you on that.
Wait,
Yeah,
what
I think
are
I agree with you on that.
Coke products? First, what is Pepsi products?
So Coke, the Pepsi products or Mountain Dew, Gatorade is a Pepsi product. I know some people may not know that, but I believe they all Pepsi. Coke has Barks, I think, root beer, and Pepsi might have A&W. But they have also, I know they have other stuff like I know Crush. I'm a big fan of Crush and Mountain Dew. I think the main reason is Mountain Dew, but also Pepsi owns a lot of chips. But and then Coke, I believe, is Sprite. And then there's other miscellaneous drinks as well. But I overall prefer the Pepsi alternative products every time I go somewhere. Because every time I go somewhere and I try to get a Coke, right, it's always flat. So that's why I like Pepsi alternative products. But Coke is to me far beyond better than Pepsi, like the actual drink.
That's so interesting. Addison, what's your take?
I like the term Pepsi alternative products. I like Mountain Dew definitely on the Pepsi side. I mean, my favorite soda, I don't drink a lot of soda, but if I do, Dr. Pepper is always a good go-to. So I would say I'm more of a Coke guy.
Wow, that's pretty unison there. I have to say I like Fanta, Sprite, and Fresca, and I think those are all Coca-Cola products as well. Cherry Coke, definitely into Cherry Coke. But by the way, really fun way to make Cherry Coke on your own. If you have some amaretto, add some amaretto to Coke and you get Cherry Cola.
And a buzz.
Prince, any last thoughts before we get to our recap?
No less thoughts for me.
Drew?
No last thoughts for me.
Addison, last chance. Anything else for us for the weekend?
No, I just really appreciate you guys letting me come up and talk about one of my passionate things of F1. Really, really cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, our play anytime, really, anytime. Feel free. That was an awesome segment. I really enjoyed it, and I think that there's a lot to mine there. And I think that Michael might link Pepsi. I don't know what the thumbs down is. Either he can't listen to us or he really likes Pepsi. We'll hear about him later. But for now, Drew, give us your best bets.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, Michael. No offense. My best bets of the day are Sandy Alcantara for 17.5 outs at -141, DDP double chance by KO submission at +165, and the Cannoneer versus Duncan fight not to go the distance at -105.
Absolutely love it. I'm going to take the Yankees first three money line -115, half a unit. Tigers money line -104, full unit, and then in the UFC, Duplessis money line and the over 1.5 rounds -144.75 units. All right, Prince, close us out.
All right, guys. Looking at the MLS tonight, the El Trafico. Give me LAFC, LA Galaxy. Both teams have scored over 2.5 goals at -135. We're also going to be playing that same game over 3 goals at -120. In the WNBA, give me Angel Reese 10 plus rebounds with Caitlin Clark 2 plus threes. It comes in at -130. In the World Cup, the third place match, I'm going to take France on the money line -110. We're also going to play a double chance, France or England to win the game, plus under 4.5 goals at -150. And then in the World Cup final, give me Spain on the money line +130. And then we're also going to be playing Spain to win the cup plus under 3.5 goals. And that one comes in at -105. That's going to do it for us today, guys. This has been the Friday edition of the OnlyBets Sports Podcast alongside Stern Bets, Drew DeLucchi. I'm the Prince of Picks. Shout out to Addison for his great F1 information. Appreciate him as always. Open invitation to anyone out there who ever wants to jump in and speak with us. Feel free to do that. We chop it up with you literally about anything you want. So this show is for you guys, and we like to try to be as inclusive as possible. So with that being said, have a great weekend. Let's cash out these tickets. We'll be back live on Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern at OnlyBets Podcast with a World Cup champion. So we'll be sure to recap the weekend that was, and we'll get into everything that happened, UFC, F1 racing, PGA golf. We got a ton of sports here this weekend. So excited to cover it all on Monday. And until then, we will talk to you all soon. Have a great weekend. Thanks, guys.